Hello, everybody. Welcome to another post-practice report. I am Brian M. Hauser. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all the places, ad hoc blogger. Today, you find me at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center, and beside me, one of the coolest guests we've been able to have on the show. I'm serious.
A lot of cancellations today, everybody. And Kate was walking by to the parking lot, and Brian just said, hey, you.
Yes, I dragged her over here. Kate Scott, who is the preseason play-by-play announcer for your Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. Kate, man, it's really good to have you.
It's great to be here, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Yeah, as someone who's been a fan of the team for a long time, and one of the sickos who actually watches and listens to all the preseason games.
You have to be sick to do that.
You have to.
I'm glad that that's good self-awareness on your part.
It's tested my limits, I'll be honest. But you do an awesome job. And I'm not just saying that because you sit here. You wouldn't probably be sitting here if I didn't think you did an awesome job.
That's true. That's good. That's good.
You're great. You're incredibly easy to listen to. I think you do amazing work, especially because your full-time job is with the 76ers. Different sport, different city.
Yeah.
Talk about like what it takes to do the preseason for the Seahawks justice.
Yeah. Well, it takes a lot of prep work. I have my board right here in front of me. And thank you for saying all of that. But I have always loved calling and covering different sports because it keeps your brain fresh, right? Like I would get bored if I was just covering one sport all the time because they are so different. I mean, this is the most beautiful training camp in any sport, not just football.
Yeah,
so
we are blessed.
Getting paid to fly across the country, to be on the shores of Lake Washington and talk to really awful people like you.
Yes.
But yeah, it is a lot of work because, as you know, like 90 guys on the Seahawks, but there's also 90 guys on the Raiders on Thursday night, and the games are just mostly aired here in the Pacific Northwest, but Thursday's game is going to be NFL Network, and next week against the Chiefs is going to be NFL Network as well. So kind of have to know a little bit more about the other teams than I would on a typical weekend.
Do you get any access to the Raiders? Because you just kind of here for the Seahawks. So you're having to kind of wing it with the Raiders stuff.
Well, and I'm reading, so it's similar to prepping for opponents in the NBA, if we want to do it that way, in that, I've been reading all the training camp news coming out of Raiderville and following all of their beat reporters and listening to their podcasts and stuff. So it's kind of just like doubling up the work, but I don't think you get to where I am if you don't love the work, because the game is the fun part. 90% of being good at either play-by-play or analysis is all the prep work you do. So then on game day, you're really just looking up and calling the game.
Well, and you've got a little bit of a cheat code with who you're going to be doing the game with. You've got Mike Robb, Cliff Averill, Mike Bennett.
If
anybody knows the guys on the other side, at least Pete Carroll, those guys would.
Yeah. And Mike Robb has been an intern for the scouting department this preseason for the Seahawks. So he's going to have insider knowledge, even more so than he has last couple of preseasons.
That's helpful to know, because I've seen Mike Robb around. He's got his video camera.
What is he doing?
I'm always thinking he's like, is he doing some special series? But you helped
home videos.
Yes.
Where's Marshawn? What's going on?
The Real Rob Report was a famous part of Seahawks history, and so anytime he's got a camera in his hand, I'm curious.
Totally.
So typically on this show, we kind of talk about what happened in this practice. You probably saw more of this practice than I did, because I was prepping for a separate interview with the coach. But
how'd that go, by the way?
It was good.
Yeah.
I'm working on an article. I can't tell people what it's about yet, but
it's a good tease, though.
It's percolating, and the conversation with Coach was a big part of it. So,
he's a great interview.
Man, smart guy.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate in Seattle to have him here. So, as you coming in fresh, I kind of love it. What has stood out to you? What's caught your eye in these first few practices?
Yeah, well, I think you and I were talking about it a little bit out there today in the brief period where you were paying attention, Brian. That, as expected,
she's sharing all my secrets. I make it all up, folks.
As expected, every training camp, most of the time, the defense is ahead of the offense, right? Because, and when you've got a defense like this one where almost everybody's coming back, same scheme, and you're going against an offense that is very new when it comes to scheme and personnel and everything. So the defense understandably won, quote unquote, the first week. And then yesterday was a completely different story, and it felt like more the same today for me. Is that what you saw as well?
Yeah, no, the offense, pads weren't on today, so different style of practice than yesterday. But I mean, when I was charting plays, there was more big plays to Jackson Smith and Jigba and Torrey Horton, and on down the list, the tight ends, Elijah Arroyo and AJ Barner.
We were talking about how interesting that group could be.
Right. I mean, what when you look at that offense and all the question marks there, what are the ones that you're most looking forward to seeing how they step on the field Thursday night?
Oh gosh, well, definitely the tight ends. I think I'll just bring to air what you and I discussed on the sideline, because it is interesting to me as an outsider who flies in for the preseason, that so much of the talk has been the Seahawks are going to have a great defense. We know that. But man, I don't know about this offense. But all of those questions seem to kind of lean negative. Like, I don't know if Darnold's going to be able to repeat that performance. I don't know if Kupp's going to be able to stay healthy. I don't, this new offense. But if we flip things around and start to just kind of think positively, okay, but what if Sam is able to replicate that? What if Cooper is healthy? What if all of a sudden these tight ends who've looked pretty darn good in the sessions that we've seen? I mean, AJ Barner and Elijah Arroyo, when they were on the field at the same time today, and then you've got Jackson and you've got Coop, and then you've got Charbonnet or Ken in the backfield. It kind of takes me to my basketball when it's like, well, who are you going to cover if Joel Embiid and Paul George and Tyrese Maxey and Kelly Oubre Jr. are all on the court at the same time? Like, good luck. So it will all come down to how those things turn out. But it's interesting to me from the outside that it seems like all the spin is negative on this offense, where if you flip it the other way, it could be a really great offense to watch.
Well, and part of the reason I love having this conversation with you, talking to Kate Scott, the Seahawks preseason play-by-play announcer, and the 76ers play-by-play announcer, and a bunch of others.
Nobody cares.
I care.
Thank you.
It's, if you had seen the first practice of Sam Darnold, you would be like, ooh, maybe they are right.
Yeah.
But because you've come in later and you're seeing now, of course that's the question that comes to mind. Because if these were the only practices you had seen, you'd be like, the rest of the NFL doesn't get it. Sam Darnold is the player he was last year. He has looked excellent the last few days.
He looks really good. And I've covered Sam since he was at USC and I was working for the Pac-12 network. And I feel like this offense, understandably, I mean, he worked with Kubiak previously, but we saw last year with Minnesota, when he's just out of the pocket, kind of on the move, we know he's got one of the best arms in the league. We know that maybe sometimes he'll take a few chances that you don't. But he has talked time and time again this preseason about, but let's get that out in practice. Mm-hmm. Let's throw the interceptions now, especially against a defense that is probably going to be one of the best, most difficult to read defenses for other offenses in the NFL right now. Like, let's get it all. None of this matters. So let me figure it out against this really difficult scheme. Let me find my time in with my wideouts. And then let's get into the games that actually matter in the regular season.
Well, and another quarterback that you and I were talking about, and I think I said this to you, I'll say it here. Jalen Milroe, if all you saw of Jalen Milroe is what he's done the last 2 weeks, and someone told you he was the Seahawks' first-round pick, you wouldn't blink twice. Like the traits he's already has, and then the passing that he is showing, and I think the maturity of progressions and actually playing the quarterback position. I'm like, this guy would have been a top 10 pick if he had been like that. So I have to
thank goodness he didn't.
Right. I have to assume that's going to be a big part of your broadcast because, Drew Lock will get the majority of snaps most likely, but Jalen Milroe will step on the field at Lumen Field for the first time.
Yeah. And that was fascinating for me to hear when you said that earlier, that you saw him at the Senior Bowl and where he is now is night and day, because I'm right there with you. Like, this guy does not look like a rookie, right? And usually players, because the guys are bigger, stronger, faster. Even if you're a star at the collegiate level, whatever sport, there is a jump. There is a learning curve when you come to the professional level. But it started Saturday at Football Fest. He had a couple of great throws and just the calmness and the poise. Those are usually the things I look for with rookies, and he has that. He's going to miss targets. Stuff's going to happen. Sure. But I'm really hoping, he gets one or two breakaways in the next couple of weeks at Lumen, because if he gets into space, look out. Nobody on the Raiders or Chiefs defense can be able to catch him. Yeah.
Electric. And another guy, we were talking with Reek Woolen at the press conference after, and I got a chance to tease him about him teasing Torrey Horton Jr. yesterday, calling him Jerry Rice Jr.
I was impressed you knew who Jerry Rice was. These guys are so young these days. I look at their birthdays. And
you have to understand, Kate, if it comes up in the broadcast, Jerry Rice is the Seahawks legend, Jerry Rice.
Okay.
For his 200-yard plus game in a Seahawks uniform when he was like 42 years old.
I mean, he was a Raider legend for a season too, right?
Yeah. We like
Niner
to
fans may disagree.
49ers fans. Anytime they talk about it, we just show them a Jerry Rice in the Seahawks uniform picture. And
as you should.
It just tortures them. So, but Torrey Horton Jr., one of the things Reek Woolen just said over there is part of why he's so impressed is this guy is not just performing against threes and twos. Yeah. He's going up against the big dogs and he's winning routes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm probably making too many NBA comparisons for your football specific show. But what I was thinking when people the last couple of days have been calling him steal a draft, right? Because he got hurt in his senior season. And because of that, because he wasn't available in OTAs in the off season, his stock fell. And we talk about it often in Philadelphia with Tyrese Maxey, who's now one of the up-and-coming stars in the NBA. Can't wait till the Supersonics get back here to Seattle. Every time I see Adam Silver there, I'm like, Adam, come on, we got to go back to Seattle. Like it's there. The fan base, everything is there.
Even as a Blazers fan, I want the Sonics to be back in Seattle.
Dane back. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But I'll make this short. So Tyrese Maxey was a 2020 draft pick when March Madness was canceled. And I am positive that if March Madness would have happened in 2020, Tyrese Maxey wouldn't have fallen to the Sixers at 21 in the first round. He would have been a top 10 pick. So sometimes you just have to take advantage of those guys and be thankful that they were hurt and you were the team that got to take a chance on him, because he does not look like his draft status.
He does not look like a fifth round rookie.
He does not.
Out of a smaller school. Colorado State's not a small school, but smaller.
Yeah, smaller.
And I mean, you look across this rookie class, and those guys. We heard from Coach McDonald say Nicky Manwari is going to be on the field. Elijah Arroyo is going to be on the field. I don't know if Gray Zabel will be out there, but I would hope he would get some reps. We'll see about that. And even some guys that were not drafted, the Jared Ivies, the Jalen Gaines, there's some guys in this group that I think are going to have a chance to stand out in that game. You are in and around the team right now. Do you get a vibe talking with, folks in the organization, how they're feeling about the team?
This is the best time to be around a team, regardless of sport, because there's so much hope.
Yes.
Right. But I think that hope is warranted. I think I was very impressed. I'm sure you've been around this team through a number of changes over the years. I was very impressed with Mike McDonald last year, just upon meeting him. It's not often that I meet a head coach that is younger than me.
I know. They're all younger.
I was like, wow,
now,
life comes at you fast. Yeah. Okay. And then to watch you guys again from afar go on to win 10 games. Yeah. And obviously after the bye, like the defense figured it out, knew it was going to take some time to learn that scheme and to see how good they were. And then the offense obviously wasn't up to snuff. They made the changes instantly. Like there is no rebuilding here. We are ready to refire in Seattle. The fact that they got Kubiak, he brings in his offensive line coach, and like they're going for it. That they got Sam. So I love the relentless pursuit of of greatness here every year. That does not happen in a lot of franchises in a lot of different sports. A lot of places are okay being okay for a few years. Yes. And that's not the case here.
Yeah, I think Jody Allen deserves a lot of credit for that, honestly. A lot of folks are like, well, how involved of an owner is she? Yeah. And there's a lot of folks that are in her situation wouldn't have to, her and Burt Cold could just kind of be caretakers and let things go and coast along. Yeah. But they don't want that. Mm-hmm. And they've made moves that cost money. They've made moves that have cost time for them and kept the pedal to the metal. And now it is a little bit on, John Schneider and Mike McDonald to go from good to great. And it's not easy with one of the youngest teams in the NFL to do that, but I think there's some reason to be hopeful about that.
And those guys thrive on that pressure. Yeah. And speaking of money, a lot of space left.
Yes.
Which if I'm a Hawks fan, which I know all of you are, I'm excited. I mean, John Schneider's been one of those guys who is happy to make a big move or two throughout the season. So let's not sleep on that fact.
It sounds like Kate's predicting a big move. So reporting first
you
here.
You heard it here with absolutely no insider knowledge. No, but I'm not saying now, but how important could that be a couple weeks into the season? hopefully it's not an injury, but you just see, oh, we actually have a need here where we didn't expect to.
Yes.
Let's go get this star player who's going to fit in seamlessly. And the Seahawks go from, because the NFC West, in my opinion, is wide open this year.
It is.
So there's a lot on paper that you could write out, but I don't think any of us know how it's going to play out.
So before I let Kate go, let me just let folks know a couple of injury bits of information. Oluwatimi was out again in practice. Mike McDonald said it was a back, does not think it's too serious. Josh Ross had surgery on his hand, but they do expect him back. I think, who was the other person that we asked about? It was
Let's go through the board.
I got it in my notes here. Folks don't mind when they're used to me like going through my notes after these.
I mean, as you should. There's 90 guys out there right now.
Shaquille Griffin was back, which was Tyrese Knight. Tyrese Knight's leg, it didn't sound like that was too serious either. So generally, fine news on the injury front. And again, I think the practice ended today with a red zone touchdown to, was it Jackson?
I think it was Jax, wasn't it? Darnold to Jax?
Yeah. And
just on the side of the end zone, toe tapping.
It was a good way to end after I think Jackson dropped a pass at the beginning of practice.
Which is shocking.
Yes.
There was a big hush that fell over the crowd, which speaks to just how talented that young man is.
I think, he's made one of the question marks coming into this camp was, could he be a number one style receiver without DK Metcalf drawing coverage? And I'm telling you that the guy that I'm seeing out there, he's going to be able to separate from all sorts of corners. And if they're going to put coverage over there, then it's going to make, if he becomes that guy, I think you're going to see Torrey Horton actually really make a bigger impact than people would expect.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people are discussing, why did they go get Cooper Kupp? They're such similar players.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm on defense and you're moving Sam around in the pocket and you've got Coop on one side, and you've got Jax, or you're lining up stack, whatever, got a couple of tight ends, you got Barnes, you got AJ Barner, you've got Elijah Arroyo, and you've got, again, getting back to it, there could be so many weapons. Who do you guard? How do you guard them? And I think Jax is already a number one guy. He may not have the look of a DK or the old school, the Jerry Rices, the Calvin Johnson, all of our old school number one receivers. The game has changed.
And he is changing it in his own way. So, Kate, thank you so much for taking the time.
I appreciate
you coming, and can't wait. I will not be able to listen live to your call, but I will definitely be watching it.
You're not missing out. The game is the important part.
So everyone make sure you check out Kate Scott this Thursday as the Seahawks play their first preseason game against the Raiders. And Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, Ashton Genty. Who knows? It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
Until then, I will see you all actually in about 45 minutes. Seahawks Collective with Michael Sean Dugar, myself, Annabelle Hasselback, and Rob Staten over on the Seahawks Collective YouTube channel. So we'll see you there in about 45 minutes. Take care.